We're in the Tanya. We asked the very fundamental question yesterday, which is, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? It's a very profound thing that generally we're so distracted by our monkey mind that we don't usually have the quietude to ask the question. But oftentimes, when things seem to quiet down a little bit, sometimes on Shabbos, sometimes on holidays, and we encounter a moment in these fast days, Yom Kippur, where there's not many distractions, and we are forced to encounter ourselves, the question is, who am I? Now the Baal Tanya is going to explain, he's going to answer this, but he's going to take about 10 chapters to do so. And in order to build up the discussion of who am I, he's going to explain that there's different types of Jews. Thank you, Tzaddik. There's different types of Jews. And he's going to ask a lot more questions. So let's jump right in. Ha'inyan. The main thing is the following. Ki hine matzina beGemara. We found in the Gemara Chamisha Chalukos. We found that there's 5 types of Jews. We're going to explain this more in detail. It's a Gemara in Brachos, Daf Zayin Amud Aleph, also Samach Aleph on the days. We find that there's 5 types of Jews. Number 1, Tzaddik v'Toivloi. He's a Tzaddik and he has good. Number 2, Tzaddik v'Raloi. He's a Tzaddik and he has bad. Number 3, Rasha v'Toivloi. He's a Rasha and he has good. Number 4, Rasha v'Raloi. He's a Rasha and he has bad. V'Beinani. And a Beinani. Very interesting category. We don't know what this means, this Beinani. The whole Tanya is actually called the Book of the Beinanim. The Book of the Beinani. For now, we're going to call him the in-between one. He's not a tzaddik, he's not a Rasha, he's a Beinani. He's a Beinani. Says the Baal Tanya, explaining, so what are these 5 types of Jews? What does this mean? There's a tzaddik that has good, a tzaddik that has bad, a Rasha, a wicked person that has good, a wicked person that has bad, and this Beinani. The Gemara explains, Perusha, the Gemara, Tzaddik v'Toivloi, Tzaddik Gomer. A tzaddik that has good to him is a perfect tzaddik. It's perfect tzaddik. Tzaddik v'Raloi, a tzaddik that has bad to him is a tzaddik she'eina gomer. He does not have perfect righteousness. Now I want to explain what this means. The way the Gemara explains what these 5 types of Jews are, a tzaddik v'Toivloi, tzaddik v'Raloi, Rasha v'Toivloi, Rasha v'Raloi, and Beinanim, is that it's talking about his actions in this world and his life in this world. Meaning, a tzaddik who has good is somebody who's a tzaddik gomer, a perfect tzaddik. Meaning, on his scorecard, 100%. Checks. Tov lo means he also has good in this world. That would be a tzaddik who lives a very comfortable life in this world. He's a tzaddik, which means not only in the world to come is he going to be, given the goods, but even in this world he has a very comfortable life because he's 100% perfect. 100%. A tzaddik v'Raloi, a tzaddik who has bad to him means that he's not 100%. He's Eina Gomer. And therefore, we call that as he has at least 51% mitzvahs, but he doesn't quite have 100% mitzvahs. And therefore, because of the 49 to Averas up to 1%, in that range, he has Ra to him in this world. Hashem has to pay him off in this world. Now I want to explain something amazing. we believe in the two-world system. And with this system, we can begin to answer why bad things happen to good people. Because what's worse? To have to get paid off and cleansed in the world to come, or to have to get paid off and cleansed for negative things in this world? World to come. It's very painful. It's a little bit spooky up there. We won't go into too much detail. But it's much better in this world to have kapara, to be cleansed of all those things in this world. The Gemara goes so far to say, is if you wanted to take a 5 shekel coin out of your pocket and you took a 10 agurot, or you took a 1 shekel, that's already called a type of cleansing, because it was uncomfortable for you. Meaning, you really in this world as a perfect tzaddik should have complete comfort. The ideal state of a righteous person is the bus is always there, and there's no line, and everything, exactly what he takes out of his pocket is there, and there's never anyone stopping him. Everything is laid out before him. And there were certain tzaddikim that lived like that. That is actually the way that Hashem wants you to live, especially after He gave the Torah, because with the Torah you can control and manipulate this world. Famous Orach Chaim, that miracles are not even so impressive after the Torah was given, because the world is created through Torah, so that people who have Torah can move the world and manipulate the world, and essentially everything flows. That is for someone who's a perfect tzaddik. A person who's not, so Hashem, instead of paying him off in the world to come all the negative things, what does He do? He's raloi. He makes this world uncomfortable. I had my bike battery stolen a few months ago actually. So I have a very chashuv Sephardi. He's actually could be a Baba, this Sephardi. He's like in the lineage of Abu Chatzera and things, but he decided to just go and work to fix bikes. He's a very simple Jew, and everyone knows that he's very special. And he just talks about emunah all day, and he's fixing the bikes and everything. So I walk up, someone, my bike, I need a bike. Ze kapara lecha. It's good for you. 1,500 check later, it's good for me, but because I was, not so pleasant. You get there, especially when someone steals something from you. It feels like, you feel violated. Like, really? Like someone came and stole. They cut the chain, and who would do that? And all of a sudden he's like, oh, you don't even know how lucky you are. You just got paid off, so they could have been in the world to come. I love this start of That's what I thought at that moment. It's such emunah. So Hashem runs the world that way. When you stub your toe, we don't ever wish that upon somebody. Everything that happens in this world is here to cleanse, so you don't have to deal with this later. Anything that are difficulties for you, which is a whole new way of looking at this world, is that Hashem is helping you. He's cleansing you now. Because in a two-world system, you realize that, okay, Baruch Hashem, I'm a tzaddik, which means I'm going to the world to come. And it's much better that I should take care of all the things that I need to take care of now. And that's why the ra lo. That's why I'm going through these difficulties now, that I don't have to pay it off later. So then, in that case, what's a rasha v'tov lo? A wicked person that has good.
He's not fully wicked.
He's not fully wicked. He's got mitzvahs, right? He maybe helped a couple.
But he has some conveniences in this world.
And this doesn't seem too hard to imagine.
Right.
All the people that are, you look at them, you're like, you mamish, you evil people. You Antifa, anti-life, evil anarchists. With money, with this, everything's going fine. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Not so simple. Don't worry. Hashem says, I'm going to give it good to you in this world. I'm going to pay you off in this world, because you did some good things. Hashem is just. I'm going to pay you off in this world. But once you come upstairs, He's going to say, but I did all these mitzvahs. Yeah, I paid you off in this world. What do you think all those private jets were? What do you think all that money was? I gave it to you. Don't worry about it. So the difficulties of the tzaddik v'raloi in this world is to cleanse, It's to give him things that when he comes up to Shemayim, it's all taken care of. Once you think about this in a very mature way, it's a very profound introduction into the question of why do bad things happen to good people? And why do good things happen to bad people? Because it's a two-world system. Never forget this. It's a two-world system. And that means deep emunah. Hashem, you're running things. I know that this is not the end of the journey. Like they say, it's not the last stop on the train line. It's a much longer journey. The problem is we get so pigeonholed into this world, into our fantasy sports, into our zachen, that we live in this universe that we can't see anything bigger. People who are people of emunah, especially, that's what learning the deeper dimension of Torah teaches you, to always see the world in a much wider perspective, to see the world in a much greater, more ultimate way. There's a famous story with the Rebbe Riatz, that he was the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe. He was jailed many times in Russia for teaching Torah against the wishes of the KGB, pre-KGB. And they kept locking him up, the communists. And he just refused to stop teaching Torah. And eventually one of the officers put a gun to his head and he said, if you don't stop teaching Torah, we're going to kill you. And he said to this officer the following thing. He said, if I was like you, who believe in one world and no God, I'd be very afraid, because now my time is over. End of the line. That's it. But I'm not like you. I believe in one God and two worlds and no gun. I think basically the soldier combusted on the spot after he heard that. Like, what do you say to that? He converted. He became the biggest chassid of the Rebbe. Those are always how the stories go. You need to say, once you live in a reality, my friends, and it's very important, you have to start integrating this idea. It's a two-world system. Two-world system. Which means don't lose yourself. To quote a very technical expression from the rabbis, don't get lost in the sauce. Very important, don't lose yourself in this world. It's very easy to just lose and get lost in the pettiness, in just the nothingness and the immaturity of this world. Don't get lost in this. See big, see with big perspective. And when Ra happens, there's a lesson that there's something that I need to fix and that had to get cleansed. And Baruch Hashem, you're telling me something through this. And this is easing me as I get ready to merge into the world to come. Yeah?
I feel like this outline of different types of people kind of contradicts the story of Eov. You know?
We'll see. He's going to talk about Eov. Eov is on this page of Tanya.
Oh, cool.
Okay?
I should have read the page before I spoke.
So this is an amazing thing. You're thinking, the Baal Tanya is thinking just like you. It's Baruch Hashem, it's great. So it's an amazing thing that already with this explanation of these different categories, we already have an awareness. This is from the Gemara. This is classic Jewish philosophy and belief that it's a two-world system, that we're all getting ready. This world is compared to the Prus door. This is the entry hall. Getting ready to the world to come, which is the Traklan, the banquet hall. And we prepare ourselves now. This world, like it says in the Mesilas Yesharim, quoting Chazal, is compared to dry land. The world to come is compared to the ocean. Now we get ourselves ready. You procure the necessary elements that you'll need for the long journey ahead. Because once you get to the world to come, you're going to set sail with whatever you have. So this is the place of getting ready, but this is not the end of the journey. This is just a very small blip in the timeline of eternity. In fact, it's nothing in the timeline of eternity. Because compared to eternity, it doesn't take up any space. But we get so involved in this world. No, he did that to me. And, I get so angry. Do I like having a temper? Do I like being angry? Other people don't like when I have a temper. Do I even like when I have a temper? And we start to think now, okay, based on a two-world system, I start to become a little bit more mature in the way that I see difficulties that happen in my life as a way of paying me now so I won't have to go through this later. It's very cleansing, it's very therapeutic once you start thinking about this in a much more mature way. Next time the Tanya is going to take this concept of tzaddik v'toivloi, tzaddik v'ra'loi, and he's going to give us the perspective of the Zohar. Until now, everything we've said is from classic Talmudic belief. And what we're about to delve into next time is the deeper concept of how the Zohar sees the same idea of tzaddik v'toivloi, tzaddik v'ra'loi, but what we just explained is all based on a person's actions. If you have 51%, then you are going to be a tzaddik and you have to cleanse off. It's all based on your actions. But if you have less than that, then you're going to get paid off here. All of that is just external how you act. The Baal Tanya is now going to quote from the Zohar and say that there's another way to look at this. Not about what you do on the outside, but what's going on in the inside your heart. What's moving on the inside in this very fired up area of your heart? How do I understand the inner dimension of the universe of the heart of the Jew and the heart of humanity? And he's going to explain that to us based on the Zohar. We'll continue that next time. Everyone should have a Gemara Chasima Tova, good Geven Shtir Yeshua Koyach.